Hello, what's good? Yeah, this is Messiah Monique here, talking about a question that has been
floating around on the internet,
and it has been talking about: would you rather have $1 trillion
or 10 minutes with Jesus? So we chose the time with Jesus, of
or time with
course,
Jesus?
and we're going to talk about why we chose that and some of the things that we would talk to him about in that time frame.
Yeah. Well, I would most definitely like to choose that because I would like to know more about the purpose and the different things that God has placed within me to do. And I believe having that time with him would just catapult me into a place that would be so great and grand. And even our relationship would be so amazing more. Just one touch from Jesus, a hug, just a moment, just imagining that, you know what I'm saying? Just imagining the difference it would make. Just one moment in time with the Lord. Like my wife, she made mention of the 10-minute time frame that we say 10 minutes may be different 10 minutes with him.
Yeah, we know that God doesn't have the same sense of time that we have. So what would be 10 minutes for us may be a whole lot longer for him, or vice versa. So honestly, it's not like you have to cram anything in, because you think 10 minutes is not really a long time.
Right.
But we don't really have to cram. When you sit at the feet of Jesus or you're talking to him personally, I'd like to think that we'd have as much time as we need. And specifically in what that conversation would sound like my husband says, purpose is something that we should all be striving toward. So if there's ever confusion or question about what your God-given purpose is, that's an opportunity for you to figure that out and get some clarity. Not to mention, we know that with purpose does come provision. So I know a lot of people are thinking $1 trillion. Oh, wow, what could I do with that money? I could do all these things. However, what happens if you get the trillion and then you find out you got cancer the next day? Or you may not even have as long, whatever the case is. We should always think about money not being the root of everything. Honestly, there's so many things that's so much more valuable than money. So when we think about what we could gain from that time and that talk with Jesus, it probably would surpass the $1 trillion, not only in financial value, but in spiritual value.
Whole life. Yeah. Spiritual values. All that. But just take us to a whole nother level in a way, like she said, the purposeful things. But I'm thinking, what a minister said. He said, for in God's will, he will pay the bill.
If it's God's will, he will pay the bill.
yeah. So I'm saying, so being in God's will, there will be provision and all that made. So with all that said, we would choose that. But the next thing we were thinking about, where would we go to eat that dinner with Jesus? Man, to one of the finest, extravagant, only fit for a king
restaurants.
Yeah.
White tablecloth.
Kosher
fish.
First class everything. You know he gonna pay for it anyway. You know what I'm saying? He gonna pay for it. Yeah. All debts paid. Because that's what he does. He paid it all.
All right. But I hope we gave some insight for anybody who's concerned or saying, hey, I would want that money. But you got to think about it. Money doesn't buy everything. There's a lot of millionaires and billionaires that off themselves. And it's simply because money doesn't buy happiness, believe it or not. So when you think about the opportunities that you would gain from that conversation with Jesus, not only the financial value that he's able to provide you with, but the spiritual value, and it's just so much. Exactly. And the peace that surpasses. That's true value for anybody who doesn't already know. So hope it gives some insight to
there it is. Much love from the parishes. God bless y'all.